How are you? Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Thursday. And I'm trying to think, I'm going to go get my hair done today. I know you all wanted to hear that. So I was talking about that in my stories. I'm taking off for a trip next week. Oh, FYI, I will not be live at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, Monday through Thursday next week, because I will be on a business incentive trip. And so I will be out of town. I'll take you with me in my stories if you follow my stories on Instagram or Facebook, etc. But in the meantime, I'll be here today and tomorrow. We have been doing, you guys, if you can believe it or not, we have been doing a live Monday through Friday, like for 16 months. 16 months. And the group Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women, that has had a challenge in it every month we started it 2 years ago in June this month. So we just did our 25th one. So woohoo! You guys have a track to run on. You have a blueprint for freedom. I mean, it is very exciting. Today's topic, you guys, what I want to talk about is imagine a poster at your doctor's office. Like, you know how you have posters? I mean, I always pay attention to the posters that are in my chiropractor's office. Imagine that there was a poster in your doctor's office. Like I'm talking about the actual medical clinic. With all of the signs, the real signs of insulin resistance. And like you sat down in the waiting room and there was a poster, and you got into the room where you're waiting for the doctor and there's another poster, and they actually put posters on the walls that match the level of insulin resistance we have in our country. I mean, I know I'm asking for the moon. I'm asking for the moon. So that's just kind of how that goes. All right. So I grew up literally surrounded by type 2 diabetes, and I grew up in an Italian family, a lot of love, but a lot of obesity and type 2. And, my dad, 2 injections every day in his belly, 2 injections, because he had to probably not at the beginning, right? But just that's what he was doing. He was constantly regulating his blood sugar, and then he was eating according to what, the medical community told him, total trash advice. And it would like spike his sugars, and he'd have to figure out how to get them back down again, and blah, 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 blah. And so it was like, grab dad some orange juice and give him his, he needs his syringe and his vial of insulin. It was just this whole mess. Right. And it's like, I really did learn at an early age that this was kind of an all-encompassing, like a lot of mental thought went into being a type 2 diabetic for my dad. And in the end, he didn't function well. He was exhausted all the time. And his body just kept going like this, just down and down and down. I don't even know that it ever stabilized. I mean, it just seemed like it was one thing after the other, after the other, after the other. And then he was gone at 63. So if you feel like you wonder if you're insulin resistant, today is for you. If you know you're insulin resistant, today is for you. If you know of somebody who is insulin resistant, this is a really good live to share with somebody, because I'm going to literally, as though it was on a poster in your doctor's office, I'm going to give you symptoms of insulin resistance. And it's very helpful, because why, if this is so freaking simple, why don't we just have posters everywhere? Like, why is this so hard? Why is this so mountainous? It's really ridiculous if you think about it. I'm just telling you. So my name is Kirsten Liebelt. I probably forgot to say that. I'm in Minnesota, born and raised. And other than spending 8 years out in the Black Hills of South Dakota in the 90s, where 2 of my 3 children were born, I'm basically just been here. So this is the state that I know. And yes, it is cold in the winters. And yes, I do want to move south in the winters. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. That's a goal. # goal. Okay. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to actually like break down for you kind of what this looks like, because this is how people will say this to me. Like, well, how do I even know if it is insulin resistance that is keeping me from losing weight? That is increasing my meds consistently, because you don't just go on one med. I don't know if you're aware of this or not. This is how you get a suite of meds. I always say my dad's was on a Lazy Susan, because what happens is maybe the first thing that happens is, oh, you're pre-diabetic. Here's some met. Then, oh, your blood pressure is going up a little bit. Here's an HBP med. Oh, your cholesterol, not looking so good. Here's an STATIN. Oh, did that cause depression? I am so sorry. Here's an anti-sadness. Do you understand? Like, they have it all lined up, ready to go. They're just going to like chunk it out for you. And this is why they're so confident that when you're in your 50s, you're on at least 3 meds in the United States of America. This is really dumb. It's really dumb that this is where we've gotten to. And nobody, okay, in general, as an umbrella conversation, nobody's been diagnosed with something that is terminal. It's just insulin resistance. And don't you want to hear that? It's just insulin resistance. That might be the biggest news you've heard all day, the best news you've heard all day. Oh, are you telling me, Kirsten, that if I view my world through the lens of insulin resistance, I can like drop sizes? I can get better gene sizes? I can have more energy? Is this what you're telling me? Thank you so much for the likes. I so appreciate you on TikTok. Most diverse. Thank you so much for the gifts. I appreciate you guys. You have no idea. Really, really does help to get content out. But I mean, are you telling me that that's the base of everything? How can this possibly be? This is what was in my brain not that many years ago. I'm like, how can this possibly be? How can nobody be talking about this? This is ridiculous. And now today, I'm like so like befuddled. I'm like, why aren't there posters in doctors' offices telling you? Insulin resistance, 100% reversible. I mean, now I'm probably exaggerating, right? Because maybe there is somebody out there that it isn't for, whatever. I'm not a doctor, but I'm just saying, like, reversible, not as hard as you think it is. Here are your symptoms. Let's go. You want to lose weight? Insulin resistance. You want to get off of meds? Fix the insulin resistance. You want to have more energy? Fix the insulin resistance. You need to sleep better? Fix the insulin resistance. Fatty liver? Fix it. Okay, so how much more clear can we possibly be? Okay, good morning, Magda. Good to see you. All right, so we're going to go through a list. Here we go. Here we go. All right, this is kind of a long list, but what if the poster actually looked like this? Brain fog or trouble focusing. That was my number one. I don't know if you know this. That was my number one. I had no idea it was connected to insulin resistance. I think that maybe I just thought, oh crap, this is what it looks like to get old. And I was working outside of the home, blah, blah, blah. It's a long story. I don't have to go into it today, but I felt very vulnerable with my brain fog and my inability to multitask. It actually, because I didn't recognize it as insulin resistance at all, I started taking adaptogenic herbs that did actually change my life. So I'm grateful for the way my journey laid itself out. So I'm not upset about it, but brain fog or trouble focusing, it's not just because you're getting old, girls. Crashing in the afternoon. Oh man. Napping on the living room floor, I'm telling you. Craving carbs or sweets after meals. And you might still be in this, and it's okay. Like, it's okay. Some of you want really fast results. You really want your body to perform quickly. Just hold on a second. Just like give it some time to heal, right? Craving carbs and sweets after meals, waking up tired even after 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Has anybody got that one? Good morning. Good to see you. Waking up after 7 to 8 hours of sleep and you're still tired. How about trouble falling asleep or staying asleep? You're just like, you lay down and you're like wired. You're tired, but you're wired. That's actually a sign of insulin resistance. I don't know if you know that or not. Losing muscle despite working out. That's a really, really big one. We talk about that a lot here. I talk a lot about protein because we want to preserve our muscle mass. We don't want to be losing weight and compromising our muscle as we get older. I took care of my mother with dementia for 5 years with my sister. And I'll tell you, number one thing she needed was stability. Number one thing she needed, other than obviously a clear mind, was she needed to have strong legs, strong muscles in her legs. I go down to the gym and I work on like I do resistance bicycling, right? To get my quads, my thighs, whatever. I don't even know the names. I'm not a gym rat, okay? Give me a break. But whatever, because I want my quads. I heard recently that your longevity is tied specifically to how strong your legs are. What? I thought that was super interesting. So I want my legs to be strong because that's what she needed. So you don't want to be losing muscle. You want to be gaining muscle, okay? Gaining muscle. Do you need wine to relax? No, of course. I do not recommend drinking wine. I don't drink at all. To me, that's a waste of calories and like sugar, like spiking and all of the things like we have to stop, even if it's like dry farm wine or whatever that's called and it's sugar-free, blah, blah, blah. You're just making your liver work harder. I mean, I could just go on and on. However, I know some of you reach out to me and you say, well, I do have a glass of wine occasionally or whatever. It's actually like if you are having a hard time, like doing that, like you need wine to relax, that could be a sign of insulin resistance. I know that sounds crazy, but our body is trying so hard to regulate. And you're like, I need to calm down. Weight gain around your belly despite eating better. I hear this from you guys all the time. You are constantly talking to me about, I eat clean, I eat healthy, and we all have this idea of, which could mean, everybody's answer is going to be different as to what that means. And I'm very specific in how I teach food inside of the group. Ditch insulin resistance for women. Thinning hair, especially at the crown. Oh man, we don't like thinning hair, do we? Anxiety that seems unexplainable. I talked about that. I'm trying to remember what day that was on. I don't remember the day. Talked about how in my upper 40s, how I started to feel that depression that was there when I was postpartum with my first baby. And you can feel that anxiety right under the surface, and you have no idea that that's connected in any way, shape, or form, right? A lot of these things like crashing in the afternoon, that's because of poor glucose control. Anxiety or mood swings, that's blood sugar roller coaster, directly tied to your neurotransmitter shifts. Like there's a reason why these are symptoms, okay? Hormone chaos, insulin is a master hormone that messes with estrogen, testosterone, and cortisol. And this is also then tied to gallstones, because it's literally all of this stuff, you guys. If I could like talk to you about, okay, the reason why you need to lose 50 pounds, the reason why you are having gallstone attacks, the reason why, possibly the reason why you have kidney issues, the reason why, and of course there are many different factors with that, the reason why you have belly fat, the reason why maybe you're for the younger women, having a hard time getting pregnant, it's all hormonal. The losing weight, the not sleeping, the anxiety, all of it. It's hormones totally going upside down, and insulin is that master hormone. The gallstones, everything. Like it's all connected. Why don't we have a one-stop conversation with a doctor? Why do we have to go to a different doctor for each sentence I just said? Why are we having to do that? This is really silly, very, very silly. So let's see, where did I leave off? Anxiety, cold hands and feet. Cold hands and feet. Now remember, this is the poster. If there was such a beautiful thing as a poster in your doctor's office that said real symptoms of insulin resistance so you can learn how to turn it around. They would never, because it would cut into their PHARMA profits. Diagnosed with high blood pressure or high triglyceride, insulin resistance, stop drinking the sugar soda. Stop it. Stop thinking that eating sugar is about balance. Not when you're insulin resistant, it's not. It's literally straight poison for your body. Stop thinking that you can be like, well, I can still have 1 or 2 Cokes a week, or I can still have, honey on my whatever, or no, you have to, if you really want to turn it around, if you actually are motivated to turn it around and see completely different results, like you could literally turn around and go a completely different direction. Nobody would ever tell you that if you were diagnosed with something terminal. Some people would have enough courage to tell you that if they really believe that that was true, right? But for the most part, most people are going to say, at best, we're going to mitigate. at best we're going to manage, right? Because the medical community would never make such claims, right? But you can turn back around your insulin resistance. Like you can go turn 180 and go the other direction. I'm just telling you, you have to stop. So that whole thing about having high blood pressure and high triglycerides, and everybody's freaking out. I have high blood pressure. Oh my God, my triglycerides. Oh my God. Turn around your insulin resistance. Immediately stop all sugar. Just stop all sugar, all grain. Just stop. Just halt. And then let's take a deep breath, and I can share with you exactly how I did all of that. Like, it's really not that complicated. Food ingredient trade outs, targeted supplementation, bam. And then I have people dropping meds. I have people dropping sizes. I have people like dropping fat in areas that they're really excited about. All of the things, right? It can come, but you have to stop a few things first. Feeling like hormones are all over the place, like you are moody. Maybe there's even that anger underneath the surface, because again, it's messing with your estrogen, your testosterone, your cortisol. It's just, you're just not quite regulating. You don't feel like yourself. PMS, PCOS, menopause symptoms getting worse, off the charts. Like if you want your menopause to really, really suck, ramp up how much sugar you're eating, ramp up the grain, ramp up all of the processed foods, even if it says it's keto, just keep ramping it up and your menopause will get worse. And you guys, we don't like to feel like crazy women. We don't like that feeling. I mean, how many times have you thought to yourself, and maybe not in these words, I don't know. You can tell me if these are your words. These were my words. Where did she go? Where did she go? And what if in our 30s we were told, if you will deal with your insulin resistance now, or if you will avoid insulin resistance, let's pretend you're not yet. I was diagnosed with gestational diabetes at 22. So that did not go well. So I waited too long and I should have never done that. But let's say you're not insulin resistant yet, but you might be kind of edging towards it because, you're raising your babies. This might be your daughter, right? Or your daughter-in-law, raising babies, super busy, eating all the leftover mac and cheese that they aren't eating, and eating when they're napping because you're stressed, and they go to bed and all you want to do is eat comfort food, and you're kind of ramping your way up on the insulin resistance scale. What if somebody came along and said to you, you know what, if you'll shift that right now, you won't be that crazy lady when you're in menopause. And I'm going to tell you something. I did have that thought process in my upper 30s. There was somebody in my peripheral world that had menopause, 10 years my senior, and she was a freaking wreck. I'm not going to lie. She made me literally inside go, I don't want to be a crazy person when I go through menopause. Now, I didn't do anything about it, so I'm no hero. I didn't do anything about it. I didn't know how to at all. I was just like, I do not want to be a crazy lady when I'm in my 50s or whatever. And so I did do one thing. I bought a book and then I never read it. And the book was, it was a Suzanne Summers book. I still have it because I kept it because it reminded me about how I had kind of this intention to not be the crazy lady. It wasn't, I don't think it was her Sexy After 51. It was, shoot, I don't remember now. I'd have to look it up, but it was a Suzanne Summers book basically saying like, you don't have to be a crazy person in menopause. And I'm like, I'm going to buy that book because that's my intention. And then I put it on the shelf, literally never read it, but it was my intention to not be crazy. So anyway, so when you have all of these menopause symptoms and they are like really heightened, what if we gave that gift to our younger daughters and daughter-in-laws and said, you can actually sail through menopause. Let me show you how. They'd be all over that. Maybe I should do a webinar on that. Maybe that's what I need to do. Normal labs, but you feel anything but normal. Like, remember, I'll read these all in one shot at the very end here. Normal labs, but you feel anything but normal. These are supposed, like, how would it be if you had a poster of insulin resistant symptoms on the wall, a poster on the wall in your doctor's waiting room or in the doctor's room or both? Like, what if they actually were trying to be proactive and on the offense for you, like to actually have your best interest in mind? What would that be like if we had these really amazing, colorful posters instead of eat less, move more, honey. You must just be eating more than you think you are. It's all about calories. I mean, they've lied to us for so long. Anyway, skin tags, dark patches on skin or adult acne. What? Mood swings, irritability, or sadness for no reason. That's the tough part, I think. Because then when you're in the middle of your mood swing and your irritability and your sadness, you're not thinking super clearly. You're not like making these amazing decisions to change out a pantry ingredient or a recipe or put together a really good shopping list or whatever. You're just kind of like in it. You're in the muck and you're in the mire and you're like, you just feel like you're under it. And that doesn't feel very good. And you're just like, what's wrong with me? And you're trying so hard to like white knuckle and control these things. And the truth is that you could make so much more, you could gain so much more ground if you just immediately like drop some sugar. If you drop sugar and grain, you could clear things up a little bit so that you could think clearly. And then you could be like, okay, I want to accelerate my results. I need to figure out how to target my supplementation. I need to figure out how to actually make foods that I love so that I don't hate my life. And then you can move forward. Okay. Frequent infections or slow healing cuts. That was my dad for sure, all the time. And then feeling like you're aging too fast. So here we go. What if the poster said this? Do you have these signs of insulin resistance? You're sitting in your doctor's office. You got to picture it, right? You're waiting to hear your name. Brain fog or trouble focusing, crashing in the afternoon, craving carbs or sweets after meals, waking up tired even after 7 to 8 hours of sleep, trouble falling or staying asleep, losing muscle despite working out, needing wine to relax, weight gain around your belly despite eating better, thinning hair, especially at the crown, anxiety that seems unexplainable, cold hands and feet, diagnosed with high blood pressure or high triglycerides, feeling like your hormones are all over the place, PMS, PCOS, menopause symptoms getting worse. Lord help us, right? Normal labs, but you feel anything but normal. Skin tags, dark patches on the skin or adult acne. Mood swings, irritability, or sadness for no reason. Frequent infections or slow healing cuts. And the last one is feeling like you are aging too fast. Wow, wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice? Why do we have to find all this out on our own? Good morning, Terry. Christy hates the hair loss. I know, Christy. I'm sorry. It's true. Good morning, Sharon. Jennifer says, unfortunately, yes, all of it. I know, you guys. And it should have never been this way. I just want to like tell you, like, and I've said it this way before, like I'm a person of high responsibility. I really am. I wasn't always at all. Like that wasn't me in the past. But, running a business and doing the things that I do, I realize that, if something's not working right, I just have to look at myself and not blame other people, right? So I'm not a blamer person. I've learned that I have to really take responsibility. But when it comes to something like this, can you see how they have us spiraling out of control and chasing our tail like a Labrador retriever? I mean, we're just like, choo, 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 choo. And when they then like intersect our tail spinning with, well, you just need this med, you just need this med, you just need this med, you just go, okay, yeah, just help me, because I'm so out of control. And it never had to be this way. We never had to be crazy women in menopause, being made fun of and being dismissed by the medical community. We never had to be. Like, I'll say something and I'm sure this will be like super controversial and that's okay. But I mean, how many people would not be divorced today if we actually had a handle on our ability Trust me, I know I could get in so much trouble right now. This is one of many, 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 many factors. So just hear the right way. Listen to me the right way. Just one factor. But you know what? When you have anxiety and depression and anger and you don't see clearly and you're mentally foggy, maybe you're not seeing situations correctly, maybe you're not responding really well, and etc. And then we just get made fun of and dismissed. And it's like, no, come on. Like, you guys could have helped us decades ago, decades and decades and decades ago. And you allowed this to just continue so that we just chase our tails and we feel like we don't even know, we don't even recognize ourselves anymore. Like, where did she go? What happened? And oh my gosh, you can get super ticked off like me when you wake up and go, are you freaking telling me that if I would have stopped listening to the dietary guidelines of the medical community and the food pyramid that they gave me in school, that I could turn this around? Are you kidding me right now? I actually have full control. And they just, if you understand what they did, when the tobacco industry was told that they could no longer advertise on TV, wah, wah, we ended up with PHARMA commercials, which used to be illegal. We ended up with those, and we ended up with all of the marketing that came from the agricultural industry telling us what to eat. And they took all of their efforts of how to have nicotine to be addictive, and they put it into the food industry. I'm like, you must know this, right? Or you've heard maybe, and you've wondered, is that true? It's true. It's 100% true. They falsified studies. They buried studies that sugar was addictive, that, and then they said, no, fat's the problem. They did it all because it was protecting industry. It's called United States Department of Agriculture. Food pyramid. United States Department of Agriculture. Food pyramid. Tracking, right? Not the medical community for your best interest food pyramid, for your best health, for your best life food pyramid. Because it would have never looked that way. Wake up in the morning and you should be eating cereal, and then you should have a bagel, and then you should have a sandwich for lunch, and then you should have a Coke, a Pepsi. It'll make you smile. It'll bring joy to your life. I mean, think about the marketing. What would happen if we never had TV? What would happen if we had never had any of that level of influence into our lives? There are total people groups, in different sectors of the United States where they are literally drinking so much Mountain Dew, and they give it to their children at a very young age, and then they lose all of their teeth. But it's a cultural thing. They were told that this is how you'll be happy, just through marketing. We choose to believe it or not. And I get that. We totally have responsibility for it. But I'm just telling you, instead of helping us and giving us a poster of everything that I just listed off and putting that up in the waiting room, like I said, when I go to my chiropractor, I look at the posters on the wall. And that made me think, well, what if there was a poster on the wall of my medical office? I'm sitting in the waiting room for them to call my name, Kirsten Liebelt. And I'm looking there, and there's a poster on the wall, and it has this whole list. You can turn back your insulin resistance. This is, do you have these symptoms of insulin resistance? You can turn it back now before it's too late. Turn it back now before you have all of these and your life is a wreck and you're on 6 meds. Turn it back now. What if they actually cared? I know I'm asking for the moon. I'm asking for the freaking moon, and I get it. Yes, we have it all. What can you tell us to do to correct this, Debbie? Oh, that's awesome, Debbie. So really, I do talk about this all the time on my content. And so I have very much a very simplistic blueprint that I work with. And it's all created out of my entire journey. It took me a while to get my ducks in a row, and now you guys like crush my results. So I teach two things very clearly, very simplistically. I teach targeted supplementation that is specific for insulin resistance, and then I teach food ingredient trade outs. So there's a Facebook group called Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women, and every month for the last 2 years, we have done a 5-day insulin resistant reset challenge. I highly recommend that you get into the group because it's just a way, and then you're going to have to put your own notifications on because Facebook groups won't notify you very well at all. But when we have our next one in July coming up, I'll do 5 days every day at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we will talk about ingredient trade outs and pantry and fridge, what mine looks like now versus what it used to look like, give you a recipe and all of the good things. So we do this literally every single month, and many, many, many of you now have been like, I've done 8 in a row, I've done 12 in a row, I've done 16 in a row, because you gave yourself permission for the journey. Okay, so food ingredient trade outs, number 1. I'm an Italian. Listen, nobody knows more than me what it's like to feel like that is an impossible situation because you have such an emotional connection to food. You have such an indoctrination of eating. Maybe you eat because you're anxious, bored, tired, depressed, sad, happy, elated, out of routine, tired. Like, come on. I know them all and I've done them all. So I'm aware. But I realized that I could still be a foodie just by making all of the foods that I love with just a different pantry. Okay, that's the first one. Second one is the targeted supplementation. I do this every day for you guys, and I talk to you about this because I've sourced things that are very specific for insulin resistance, and when they all come together, it's kind of like, I call it the total body reset, and it has 3 pillars. Now, pillar number 1, I'm going to talk to you about, but then I'm going to tell you that one of them is on back order. I think I said it yesterday. I said, no, sorry, it's not on back order. It's out of stock now. I said, oh, you guys, grab the glucose product before it goes out of stock, because then you're going to be waiting. So some of you did. You grabbed it while it was on back order because now you're on the list and it'll ship and then they'll charge you. But that's okay. We're past that now. So we're going to go forward. All right. So this is where I started a little over 10 years ago. And I always put my before and after. So I was a 2X when I started this. Okay. I've lost 3 sizes in my 50s after my cycle stopped during menopause. Okay. All right. To bring down your glucose and your insulin and get your liver function and your metabolism up, so that from the inside of your engine, it refires again. And all of a sudden things can happen. This is where so many of the testimonies have come now for years. Just these 3 little supplements. This is out of stock. So if you don't want to start with pillar number 1 because that's out of stock and you don't want to wait, just set that aside for half a second. If you are somebody who's like, listen, I'm going to order the other 2, and then I want to get one of those glucose products from your inventory, I have inventory in my home because it's a very, very popular product. And so I know I've done this for a while. This ain't my first rodeo, people. So I keep it stocked, and I will, I'll ship you one for shipping. I'll do for $3, even though it costs me double that, but it's okay. I just want to be able to help people get it into your hands. All right. Pillar number 1. Pillar number 2, if you really want to know, it's a gut primer and a probiotic. Looks like a greens product, but it's not, you guys. If you can get your gut to begin to heal and seal, you will stop dropping nutrients, spilling nutrients. You'll start moving impacted waste. Hi, Jill. Thank you so much for all the likes. I so appreciate you. You'll stop dumping nutrients. And what happens is when you're spilling nutrients all the time, your body's not able, it's not being given the raw materials to actually function and do the things that it needs to do. Like, this is an inside job, you guys. Insulin resistance is 100% an inside job. You can't put enough makeup on to help it. You can't wear the right clothes to help it. You can't put lotions on you to help it. You have to go internally. Okay. So gut primer and a probiotic so that you can recalibrate your gut. That's pillar number 2. That's all in stock. If you're in Canada, I apologize because the gut primer has not launched yet. And the last one is the orange pixie stick. Some of you just start with this one because the results are so great. So this was created for a sports nutrition line. And it has a clinical dose of an extract in it that helps to target the visceral fat. And you guys, we know about the visceral fat. I think we do now by now. It's the fat that's around your organs. It's the fat that's dangerous. It's emitting inflammation and hormones, and we don't like it. So that is very important. However, the side benefit that's really fun is teaching, like reading the testimonies that I have. I mean, if you really do want transformation, I can give you transformation that has come in the form of texts from you to me. Okay. That's kind of like golden, right? So I'll read you some testimonies because it's the inches that are lost that everybody gets excited about. I recommend that you do it in 90-day rounds where you take one pixie stick, tastes like orange candy, not joking, not sort of kind of, no artificial flavors, preservatives, nothing. This is all organic farming. This is all good stuff. Put it on your tongue once a day. Okay. You could take it as a pre-workout if you already exercise, or if you go walking, you can. Once a day, do it for 90 days and then take 30 days off. Like I'm telling you, on that 4th month, don't purchase a box on the 4th month. Okay. Because it's a thermogenic and you don't want your body to get used to it. Do it in 90-day rounds and think about how many you could get in a year by doing that. Okay. But when people do all of this at once, the 90-day reset, the inches that are coming from the fat burner, 90 days, 3 inches from under her bust, 2 inches off her waist, 2.5 inches off her hips. That was her first round of 90 days. I thought I had another one. I mean, I know I do. I just thought I had it in my, here we go. A1C 6.5 to a 5.1, lost 16 pounds. That's with the total body reset. Gosh, I thought I had more of the inches on here. I apologize. Here it is. This one was 3.5 inches from the bra line, 2 inches off the waist, and 1 off of the hips. And that was 90 days also. And then I have definitely, like, oftentimes 1 month is about, like, they'll see about an inch, like just an inch. And that helps us so much. So if you could like shrink from the inside out, like I should say it more like this, from the inside out like this, and you're shrinking this way, it's so fun to try your clothes on after like a period of time of doing this. The clothes that I'm trying on now fit me so much better than they did last summer because I hadn't started that yet last summer. Okay. And it just is really helpful, but I know what I'm doing for the inside of my body too. So anyway, I don't know what that is, Debbie. Seed Pre and Pro. I don't know what that is. Very good though. It's good for you to take those steps. I mean, when I assume you're talking about like a greens type product. This has 6 blends in it, you guys. It has pre, post, fermented greens, alkaline spices, digestive enzymes. It has literally everything comprehensive inside of it. That's why the results have been so good. I did 2 days, Monday and Tuesday this week. You can go back to those replays if you want to. And I talked about only the gut for 2 days. And the second day was testimony of this. Short gut syndrome, constipation, you name it, like leaky gut. If you don't have a gallbladder, all of those things. So I always tell people, you know what? Take the time to just reach out to me and say, listen, I was on your live. I kind of want to start with 1, maybe 2 of the pillars, but I don't even know where to start. This is what I'm doing, blah, 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 blah. This is what it looks like. I've had this, for this amount of time, whatever. These are my numbers, yada, yada. I'm not a doctor, but as a friend, I will help you decide where to start. Don't buy a bunch of stuff that you don't know it's going to help you or not. I'm aware of the noise. I'm aware of the ads. Everywhere you turn around, there's another gummy to be sold at another drugstore. I get it. And I'm not even saying that they're bad, but why waste your money and your time if what you're taking isn't targeted specifically like an arrow for insulin resistance? Like, hit the bullseye. And when you layer, you get these expanded results. And if you just need to sit and look at some testimonies, go to the top of my IG page. Go to the top, those highlight bubbles that are up there. You can just start looking through those: total body reset, trio, gut reset, gut primer, and just look for yourself, because you deserve to take time to actually decide what you want to do and what journey you want to walk on, instead of just being reactive to everything. And some of you are definitely, you're in a pickle, right? You just got labs back. A probiotic. Yes. And the reason why the probiotic is not in here, just to let you know, is because this can be heated. This should never be heated. 5 strains that are alive with a stick to the gut technology and a stay alive technology. Like, you don't want this heated. Don't be drinking this after your don't take this after you've taken your coffee. Drink your coffee. Okay. Don't heat this up. You can heat this up. Somebody even said, I might even put this into a homemade soup. And I thought, well, that's a really good idea. Like, do that. Put that in soup. But anyway, but the probiotics are tender. So when you're trying to keep things alive, I just want you to know that not every company is going to be so mindful how to get things into your system properly and to actually get the results. There's no way on God's green earth that the results that I have seen you guys get would ever happen in a million years if these were not so scientifically formulated to get your engine up and running again. It would never happen. You would have trickling just here and there, maybe a smatter of somebody who thought something worked for them. That's not what's happening. Real lab results. I see your visceral scan results. I see your A1C results. I see your doctor saying not diabetic in your chart. I see the meds that you're getting off of, etc. This is a very real blueprint of transformation. And I'm so honored and excited to be able to walk along women and say, golly, 5 years from now, I always say 5 years because I want to, go way out there, but you have to think about that. Like, what are you doing 5 years from now? Like, I'm fighting for you 5 years from now. The memories that you're making with your grandbabies, the traveling that you're doing that you thought you'd never do again or was so frustrating because you just swell up and you're just like miserable. I'll do 4 trips this summer and I won't have one swollen ankle. And that was not me. I was the one laying on the hotel bed with my legs up in the air against the wall going, oh, please go down. I have to sit in a business conference this weekend and I don't want swollen ankles. It is so uncomfortable. And one of the best testimonies, I'll wrap up with this and I'll see you tomorrow at 11. She said to me, this is recently, and she said, I used to always have to take an extra pair of shoes in my purse. Now, she's 75 years old. Did you hear that? Last year, when she was 74, she lost 45 pounds in 5 months. She has been able to eliminate, wink, wink, pun intended, eliminate her constipation and using over-the-counter meds. She's been able to, she also likes the magnesium a lot because it's phenomenal. She doesn't have any leg cramps anymore in the middle of the night. That actually started to decrease because of the gut primer, just telling you, because it was really cleaning out her toxins. So she started getting rid of her leg cramps. And now she says to me, she says, I used to always have to take an extra pair of shoes in my purse because the ones that I walked out the door with were not going to fit me in however many hours because her feet were going to swell. And guess what? She's not doing anymore. She's not worrying about having a second pair of shoes. That is priceless. That makes me so happy. So whatever help you need, pillar 1, 2, 3, you need to maybe reconfigure because something's out of stock, or you want it all the same and you're like, I'll buy one from your own inventory. Perfect. Game on. You can have a different result by Christmas time. You can have a different result. My customer went from July of last year to January, A1C in the 6s, A1C in the 5s. Doctor said, I'm putting not diabetic in your chart. What do you want? You tell me. You tell me. Message me and tell me, and I'll customize a cart for you and send it to you. And I do phone consultations also. I schedule those for people if you need to like really, really need help. Good question, Jill. You're amazing. Let me show you. Jill is asking, where do you find products? So my website I'm right in the middle of redoing it too. So keep your eye out. I'm redoing it. But for right now, it looks the same. My first last name.com. So it's KIRSTEN, like the American Girl doll, Liebelt, but it's spelled lie, LIE, like you lie down, belt, like you put a belt around your dress. So KirstenLiebelt.com. And this is what it will look like with my face. And it's literally just one. That's it. That's all there is. So you can text me. You can jump into the Facebook community. You can grab a free protein guide. And then you can start looking at collagen peptides, the trio, the total body reset, the gut reset, the fat burner, like it's all there. But the most important button on there is the very first one. Text me. If you hit that, it's going to take you to your text connected to me. And you can say, hey, I was on your live and I've got a few questions. Will you put this, and this in a cart for me? I would like to just look at them. And remember, just because you ask for a cart doesn't mean you purchase everything in the cart. Some people do, but that's not the goal. The goal is to be like, I had a business guy talk about this one time, and he said, you go into like, let's say a Nordstrom's or whatever, and you say, I would like to see, this, whatever. I'm putting together a suit, and they lay out all of the different suits with all of the different shirts and all of the different ties and all of the different socks and the shoe, whatever. And then you're picking and choosing, right? And so a cart just means something that's available for you to be able to dissect what it is you're trying to accomplish, attach a goal to what you're trying to accomplish so that we can move you forward. Stop being stuck. The other programs weren't created for insulin resistance. There might be some out there for sure. Like, I'm not saying there's not. I'm just saying most of them aren't. Like counting points, it wasn't created for insulin resistant people. Buying prepackaged foods at $1,200 a month or whatever it is now, I don't even know. Unless that's the goal, So let's teach you how to fish and feel good all at the same time. You are welcome, Jill. You are welcome. All right. So, and also too, you can always go to my face up here and it will pop up here, and you can go to my profile, my TikTok profile. And then the link is there too, just in case you forgot or something. So, all right. Good to see you guys. Kent, good to see you. Nice to see you on here. Everybody have a really good day. I'm going to be back here at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time tomorrow. Next week, I am off on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I will not be on. When I go live, it'll be in the group and not necessarily at that time. So I can do intermittent lives or whatever, but it won't be here. Sorry, it's the setup deal. That's what it is. But I will be back next Friday. So tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, and then next Friday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. So I will see you. All right. Have a really good day. If you need anything, let me know. I'm going to jump off and go answer questions. Okay. See you guys later.